Hey again, it's Nehemiah the Artist, or Neo the Artist, and today I'm back with a brand new Pokemon video. I just knew I had to make another video after the huge success of my last Pokemon video, which got 13k views and over 600 likes, which I couldn't be more thankful for. So thank all of you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. It helps my motivation with art projects and more videos like these. But to cut straight to the point, this video will be about the Alola starters, which is Decidueye, Incineroar, and Primarina. I wanted to do this trio specifically since I really like this starter trio and I had some cool design ideas I wanted to make. And it's also this comment on my last video that inspired me to do so. So shout out to them. And this video was made possible because of your voting and wanting to vote on what my next video idea should be. But don't worry, I'll do the Gen 10 starter evolutions some other time. And I also wanted to do this since it's going to be Sun and Moon's 10th anniversary this year. Dang, time is flying by. But anyways, let's get straight into the video. First, I'm starting with Decidueye, the fan favorite of the Alolan starters. It was hard thinking of something for him, but eventually I thought of making him look more ghostly. Since despite people, including myself, loving Decidueye, we can all agree he doesn't really look that much of a ghost type, compared to like Hisuian Typhlosion or Skeledirge, which are other ghost type starter Pokemon. And that will change with my Mega design. One of my ideas was to make the leaves and the overall color scheme look more dead, alluding to the ghost typing. The singular feather that was on the top of the head of the original Decidueye, I made it into 4 feathers, 2 on each side of the head, to resemble horned owls and those feathered headpieces that Native American tribesmen wear, in which they historically use archery like Decidueye does. And another thing you also notice to add on to his ghost typing is the shaded head it has with the glowing purple eyes. It's just me taking inspirations from things like the Grim Reaper or Raven from Teen Titans. Once again, adding more ghostly elements. Now keep your target on the bullseye, because let me introduce you to Mega Decidueye, the Aeroquill Pokemon, a grass and ghost type. It has gained more spiritual and ghostly power, granting power for its speed and wisdom, helping its archery skill. If you didn't notice, I did not include abilities this time since I'm not the most knowledgeable on it, or competitive in general. And a lot of the comments on the last video pointed out the flaws of my competitive design for the Megas in my last video, which I do appreciate you guys for pointing it out and even fixing my flaws. However, I still did stats based off of the physical design of the Megas and the flaws they have in their existing stats, like Decidueye's speed for some reason. But please let me know in the comments if I did good on the stats this time. To get that out of the way, I really like the approach I did for the colors of this Mega. It was hard, but I tried my best to find something that works for Decidueye. Designing this kind of felt like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And also here's a little sketch I did for it as well. I'm just having him make this pose because it kind of reminds me of a Native American tent. I don't know, it could be a stretch because it wasn't really intentional when I was designing it. Next up, I'm actually doing the water starter, Primarina. And can I just say, I love Primarina, and I'm tired of pretending I don't. I know she had probably the most unexpected evolution for a starter Pokemon, but it just has a beautiful design. I always loved it. But anyways, about the Mega design, this design was kind of the hardest for me to work on. I genuinely didn't know where to start or what the design should even be like. But eventually I thought of something. For one, Primarina's hair is always unbound whenever she's using her most powerful attacks. I decided to give it cute hair bangs on the side of its head. But the actual body of this Pokemon was kind of a hassle for me to make, but I eventually thought of something. Obviously I wanted this Mega design to keep the mermaid aspects, but I also wanted to make her look like she's wearing a dress. In fact, an opera dress. You know, since she's a singer. I also upgraded her tiara, adding a shell and more pearls, and later on adding some coral, which is used for something pretty cool. Just wait and see. I made her hair more flowy and added some patterns to make it look more like water. And I also added a slight gradient to her hair because I love gradients. And don't lie, you love them too. Speaking of gradient, you can kind of see a rainbow-ish gradient onto this design. Trying to dabble more into the fairy type. Now, time to listen to some oceanic operetta. Make your way for Mega Primarina, or Mega Primarina. I think it might be Primarina. The soloist Pokemon, a water and fairy type. Mega Primarina becomes the walking performance in the battlefield. The coral on its tiara can create and blow bubbles. This Pokemon's singing passion and spirit becomes its main priority, becoming its peak power source. I loved how this turned out. Color-wise, this is so aesthetically pleasing. Now, this is something I definitely love to see animated or in 3D. Speaking of, here's a close-up of its face, which shows the bubbles blowing from the corals of its tiara. Also, I added a tear mark under her eye. The reason why I did this is because, well, we all thought Populo back in the Sun and Moon days was going to evolve into some clown-based Pokemon. And I thought I can allude to that by adding a tear mark under her eye, which some clowns use on their clown makeup. And for the shiny, I made the tail purple instead of blue because I thought it looked better, especially with my version of Mega Primarina being primarily pink. And of course I'm keeping the blonde hair color it already had. And now for the last starter of the Alola trio,
Incineroar!
And honestly, I really love Incineroar. Quick story time. I chose Litten in Pokemon Moon, and then I saw Incineroar before evolving it, and I remember the design was pretty hard for me to read for some reason, but I liked it. And you bet I was hyped as heck when I found out he joined Smash. I always thought he was a fan favorite until I looked into the internet, and I was surprised with how divisive he was in reception, because he was, bipedal or humanoid. But screw that, I always thought the wrestler and tiger in the fire ring idea was so creative. He's just so cool and I like its personality. But back to the actual design, there was one thing I wanted to bring from its pre-evolution, Torracat, and that's its color scheme. I did this because Torracat's color scheme looks more like a tiger than Incineroar's. I also replaced the dark gray color in favor for more black, for the dark typing. I also gave it a cape to mimic some wrestlers who wear them, and also to reference other Wildcat-based wrestlers, like King from Tekken, or to further extent, Tiger Mask. I also added back the Fire Bell from Torracat, and I gave him a color gradient on his legs. 1, because I like gradients, and 2, so it can kind of look like boots, wrestling boots. And if you notice, I also made it look like he's wearing a wrestling singlet. I added white on his mane to add more tiger colors, and because it would look tough. I added claws on his feet, and made the claws on his feet and hands heat powered. And finally for his tail, I made it longer and added fire at the end, so he could use it as a microphone. And because heels and other wrestlers use it to taunt their opponents in wrestling matches. Now stepping into the ring, his name is Mega Incineroar, the Heal Pokemon, Fire and Dark type, standing at 5'11" and weighing over 230 pounds. Its wrestling spirit is absolutely fired up and raged. Its claws are extremely hot, which works great for its physical attacks. When it power-ups, taunts, or counters, its bell and cape burst into a flashy, fiery light. It also uses the flaming tip on its tail like a microphone for taunting its opponents. And here's the sketch I made based off of the Dex entry. Pretty cool, right? And yes, I am aware how powerful Incineroar is competitively, and that this Mega would make him absolutely broken too. So once again, let me know how I did on the stats. But anyways, I love designing this. The colors look great, and I also wanted Incineroar to look more hefty, and the shiny just looks better than ever. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. For me, it's gotta be Incineroar, although I really like Primarina's one as well. And I also like the vibe of Mega Decidueye. But seriously, I had a blast designing these, since this is one of my favorite starter trios. Also from the first Pokemon game I owned. But I apologize this video came out longer than expected, since I've been invested in Art Fight and the World Cup, while working on the designs and the quality of this video. But seriously, let me know, what else do you want to see? Do you want to see me do Megas for the Sinnoh starters, the Mega Evolution Stone Swap trend that has been going on online, the potential Gen 10 starter evolutions? So let me know in the comments what you would like to see. Remember to like and subscribe if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed one. See you guys.